Om Sahanavavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhetamastu, Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayana Sutra Bhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punaha. We are doing Bhagavad Gita today, and we are going to start the sixth chapter. Sixth chapter is called Dhyana Yoga. Sixth chapter is called Dhyana Yoga. That is because it is an elaboration upon dhyana. But there are other things also. But it is primarily it's called Dhyana Yoga. Somehow they call it. But it is Dhyanam is different from Jnanam. This I told in the last class. Dhyanam is subjective. Jnanam is objective. Vastu Tantram is Jnanam. Purusha Tantram means it depends upon your choice, your likes and dislikes. That is Dhyanam. What depends upon your likes and dislikes? One person says Ganga is Devata. Another person says I don't see it as any Devata. And that is why it is called Purusha Tantra. Dhyanam is Purusha Tantra. Jnanam is Vastu Tantram. Vastu Tantra means as you are, you have to understand yourself. And the sixth chapter is more elaboration of Vritti Sthaniyaha, it Bhagavan says. Vritti means a kind of elaboration upon, a brief elaboration upon Dhyanam, it is said. Now there are so many arguments, non-arguments, but then these arguments we are not going through in the Bhashya. There is a lot of arguments given in the introduction. In the introductory Bhashyam, there's a lot of but then all those arguments are not necessary for you. We can go Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, first verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan means the entire creation is Bhagavan. The entire creation is Bhagaha. Bhagavan means Vala, like Dhanavan, Dhanawala, Dandiman, Dandavan. Dandavan means he is a man with a stick, Dandavan. Dhanavan. Matiman hota hai. If it is other than A, the preceding vowel is other than A, then it becomes Ma. Otherwise, it is Van. This understand. Bhagavan means the one who the whole creation belongs to whom. And whatever wealth is there in the creation, it all belongs to the truth, the source of it. Even though Jiva even though the Jiva owns it, he has to own it, but the source doesn't have to own it. It already belongs to it. Like the water doesn't have to own the waves. Water is already the source of all the waves. To be the source of the waves, to be the material of the waves, is different from owning. And therefore, a Jiva owns Paramatma is already the material source. He is the Upadanam for all the entire creation. And therefore, he is called Bhagavan. Parameshwara himself, in the form of Bhagavan Krishna, is talking to Arjuna as a Jiva. It is the Paramatma that talks to the Jivatma. Whether Shastra talks to Jivatma or Paramatma talks to Jivatma, it's all the same thing, please. Where Acharya talks to Jivatma, it is all the same thing. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Bhagavan says, Anashritaha karma phalam, without depending upon the result of the karma, without depending upon the result of the karma material result. Karma phalam, karyam karma karoti yaha, the one who does the vihita karma, the nitya karma. Karyam karma means it should be taken here as the nitya karma. Nitya karma means what has to be done, you have no choice over that. Nitya karma is that over which you have no choice. Like Sandhya Vandanam, you have no choice. Prayer, you have no choice. And therefore, whether you like it or not, you do it and forget about it. And that is why it is called karyam karma karoti yaha. The one who does karyam karma, the choiceless karma, the nitya karma. Nitya karma means you do it. Om Sri Narayana Swaha, Narayanam Namami, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Om Sri Ramachandraya Namaha. In this manner, if when you say, you don't expect any material result out of it. You expect only the mental result. And what is the mental result? The mental purity and mental samadhanam. The chittam, chitta, the chitta nirmalyam and the chitta samadhanam. When a person performs a karma, you can do any duty as a prayer to Parameshwara without depending upon the material result. Don't think about the material result. Material result is necessary for your survival. I understand that. But the material result will come, but you don't have to dwell upon it. Material result will come. As it comes, it will be useful for your survival. But when you do it, you have to only think of only the action properly has to be done. The action has to be properly done, and and then the result you don't have to think about it. The material result you don't have to think about it. The mental result, I want only my mind to be purified, my mind to be peaceful, so that I can understand the truth. That makes you a karma yogi. Karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha. And he himself such a person is called sannyasi cha. He is a sannyasi. He is a sannyasi means he is a wandering monk. Sannyasi means he is a renouncer, renunciate, and yogi cha. He is a monk and he is a yogi, karma yogi. Yogi means karma yogi. He is a karma yogi also. He is a karma yogi and he is also karma sannyasi. Karma sannyasi. A karma sannyasi is one who renounces both karma and its phalam. And a yogi is one who performs the karma and renounces the karma phala. He performs the karma, but he renounces the karma phalam. And therefore both renunciates. And therefore he is sannyasi and he is also the same person can also be called a yogi because both renounce the sankalpa. A sannyasi renounces the sankalpa for doing karma and for karma phalam also. And a yogi also performs the karma, but he renounces the karma phalam. And therefore, both renounce the sankalpa, and therefore, the both are called. The same person can be called sannyasi. So sannyasi cha yogi cha. He can be called sannyasi, karma sannyasi, and he can also be called karma yogi. Karma sannyasi means the one who renounces the karma along with the result. The karma yogi means the one who performs the karma and renounces the result. He performs it as a karma. Karyam karma karotya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnihi. Just because a person doesn't perform, or doesn't have the rituals, he doesn't cook, etc. Sannyasi means a parivrajika. He may not perform the rituals. He doesn't stay at one place, and therefore he has renounced his wife and children, and therefore you may have renounced it from the brahmacharya avastha. It doesn't matter at all. Yadahareva virajet, tadahareva parivrajat, it is said. When you get vairagyam for this world, that day itself, you can take sannyasa. Vairagyam has to be real. It should not be spasmodic. It should not be artificial vairagya. So it is a temporary vairagya. And therefore, if there is a real vairagyam, on that very day, yadahareva, ahaha means the day. The day you get vairagyam, that very day you can take sanya. Yadahareva virajet, tadahareva parivrajit. That very day you can take sannyasa. And therefore, a person may have become sannyasa from brahmacharya avastha, or he may have become a sannyasi after becoming a grihastha. It doesn't matter at all. Na-niragnihi means a person who doesn't have wife and children, he cannot perform any ritual. And therefore, just because he doesn't perform any ritual, that doesn't make him a sannyasi. The one who renounces the sankalpa for karma and karma phala is called sannyasi. And whereas a person who performs the karma and renounces the sankalpa for the result, he is called karma yogi. Na niragnihi, na cha akriyaha. Just because inaction means in the karma, in dhanam, you don't have to have the fire, you don't have to use the fire for doing dhanam or tapas, austerity. In order to go through the austerity, you don't have to use the fire. And therefore, just because a person is inactive, he doesn't become a karma yogi. Just because a person doesn't perform the rituals, he doesn't become a sannyasi. What makes him a sannyasi is that renunciation of this sankalpa. The renunciation of the sankalpa is renunciation of the desire for karma and karma phalam. That means he has renounced the sense pleasures also. And therefore, a karma yogi renounces the sense pleasures, and therefore he also is a renunciate. He renounces the sankalpa, and therefore karma yogi also is a renunciate. Karma sannyasi is a renunciate, and therefore both of them are renunciates, and therefore both names can be given to the same person. So sannyasi cha, yogi cha, na niragnihi na chakriya. Inactivity is sluggishness, doesn't make a person a sannyasi, please. Actionlessness is different from actionlessness is the nature of the truth. Is the silentness of the nature of the truth. Silentness is the nature of the truth. But inactivity is sluggishness. You have the desires, but then you are sluggish, you don't work. And that is called inactivity. Inactivity is different from action free, the truth. Silent absence of sound is different from silence. In silence, the sound is born. In silence, the sound is sustained. In silence, unto silence, the sound can go back. The sound dies unto silence, and therefore, and when the sound is there, your attention is distracted from silence to the sound, and therefore it is a creation in silence, and it is distraction from silence, and therefore, similarly here also, the creation takes place in the action in the actionless truth. The objects take place in the actionless truth, and they are a distraction from the actionlessness, and therefore activity is a distraction from the actionlessness. Activity is a distraction from the actionlessness. Activity takes place in the actionless self, and therefore inactivity. All this I'm talking only just to tell you the difference between inactivity and actionlessness. Actionlessness is immobility. That is some complete quietude, complete tranquility. That tranquility is the nature of the self. And when a person is inactive, that is sluggishness. Just because a person is inactive, that doesn't make him a sannyasi. Just because a person doesn't perform a ritual, it doesn't mean he is a sannyasi. Sannyasi means he has to renounce the sankalpa. He should not think of the sankalpa. Sankalpa for karma, sankalpa for phalam. And a karma yogi, he performs the karma, but he renounces the sankalpa for karma phalam. And therefore, both are renunciates, and therefore it is considered to be sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. The parivrajakas are sometimes you have ajigara vritti, and sometimes you have madhukara vritti. Ajigara vritti means edricha labha santushtaha. You are happy with whatever you get by chance morsels. By chance morsels. By chance, somebody comes to you and somebody helps you, somebody gives you something, and you survive on that. That is, but you don't ask for anybody anything. You don't ask for anything. You don't struggle for anything. Whatever comes to you by chance, you accept it and you survive on that. Edricha lava santushta. And also that is called Ajigara Vritti. Madhukara Vritti means you go around the village and then collect the food that is cooked by them, and then you come and in Ekanta you eat, or in a temple you eat, and therefore, and that is how you survive. One is Ajigara Vritti, the other is Madhukara Vritti. In this manner, you have Vrittis, the lifestyles. Sometimes you go and collect bhiksha from the kshetram. It is that kshetra bhiksha is also, it is the same thing. It is another lifestyle. You walk down to the kshetram and you collect your bhiksha and you bring it back to Ganga Tiram, and then Ganga Tiram, Nadi Tiram, or any Ganga Tiram or Nadi, wherever there is water, and there you eat your food. That is how you survive. You survive. But that doesn't, that these survival methods themselves do not make you a sannyasi, please. Ajagara vritti doesn't make you a sannyasi. Madhukara vritti doesn't make you a sannyasi. Kshetra bhiksha collecting doesn't make you a sannyasi. What makes a sannyasi is renunciation of sankalpa for karma and karma phalam. Renunciation of the karma, renunciation of the sankalpa for karma, for doing karma and for getting karma phalam. Then you renounce that sankalpa, then alone you are a karma sannyasi. A karma yogi, he performs the karma, he renounces the sankalpa for the karma phalam. And therefore, that way, both of them are renunciates. And therefore, here Bhagavan says, Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. Whom you call sannyasi is also a karma yogi, and whom you call karma yogi is also a sannyasi, please. Sannyasa means, sannyasi means having renounced the sankalpa. That sankalpa itself doesn't make you a sannyasi. It is discerning between Atma and Anatma. It is that discerning that makes a sannyasi a sannyasi. A karma yogi does the karma yoga also only for this purpose, for the purpose of doing the discerning between Atma and Anatma, between one's existence and one's deha, one's upadhi. Upadhi and upahitam, both of them have to be discerned. And the discerning that makes you a sannyasi, discerning makes you a karma yogi, please. The program to discern in time, it makes you a karma yogi. And the discerning makes you a sannyasi. Aniragnihi nachakriya. Anashritah karma phalam. Karyam karma karoti yaha. Sa sannyasi yogi cha. Naniragnir nachakriya. And therefore, you don't have to have you don't have to have any complex, please. So he is a sannyasi, I am not a sannyasi. Everybody is a sannyasi. If you renounce, if you do your duty and renounce the karma phala, a material result, it will take care of itself. I don't have to think about it. And I can only take care of the quality of action. I can think of, I can renounce the karma phala as a prayer, with a prayer to Parameshwara. Hey Bhagavan, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Parameshwara Prityartham Idam Karishye. In this manner, if you say Parameshwar ke liye, Parameshwar Priti ke liye, in order to get the grace of God, I am doing this. And therefore, that grace of God will come in the form of mental peace. And that mental peace you can use for knowing the truth. In that way, you use your karma yoga also for knowing the truth. And therefore, in that sense, you are both and therefore, without a complex, you are a sannyasi. As a karma yogi, you are a sannyasi also, please understand. As a karma yogi also, you are a sannyasi. You do your duties well without any complex, as a student of the truth. Because you don't become the student of the truth by being a karma yogi. You are first a student of the truth. And as a student of the truth, and you do karma yoga, and when you do karma yoga means you renounce the sankalpa for karma phalam, and you do the karma, you do the karma, you renounce this karma phala, and that makes you a karma yogi prayerfully, and that makes you a karma yogi. And karma yogi also is a sannyasi, please. A karma sannyasi, sa karma yogi cha. Na niragnihi nachakriya, Bhagavan himself says. Say a sannyasi can also be called a karma yogi. A karma yogi is also called a sannyasi. He is sannyasi, he is karma yogi. If you are a karma yogi, you are a sannyasi also. Because both of them are renunciates. Both of them are, they renounce sankalpa. One renounces the sankalpa for karma and phalam, sannyasi, and the karma yogi does the karma, but renounces the sankalpa for karma phalam. He renounces the sankalpa. He renounces sankalpa for karma, material phalam, whereas he asks for mental peace and mental purity. So yam sanyasamiti prahu yogam tam vidhi pandava. Yam sanyas is the same thing, please. Yam sanyas, what you consider, yam means jisko, sanyasamiti prahu. Prahu means they say, sanyasa vidaha, sanyasinaha themselves say, some rishis say, यम संन्यासमिति प्राहु श्रुति स्मृति विदहा इति. वेद को जानने वाले, स्मृति ग्रंथ को जानने वाले, दे ऑलवेज से दैट यम संन्यासमिति प्राहु तम योग. प्राहु मीन्स दे से तम विद्धि पांडवा, तम उसको विद्धि अंडरस्टैंड, पांडवा हे अर्जुना उसको तम योगम तम विद्धि पांडवा, and itself is called yoga. What is called sannyasa is itself called yoga, because in both of them there is a renunciation. Sankalpa is renounced. The desire is renounced. A sannyasi renounces his desire for karma and phala, and a yogi renounces the desire for karma phala. He performs the karma, but then he renounces the karma phalam. In that way, in both of them are renunciates, please. Without renouncing this sankalpa, you cannot be a karma yogi, you cannot be a sannyasi. Nahi asanyasta sankalpaha. It is said, that is very beautiful, ji. Nahi, not indeed, asanyasta sankalpaha. Unless you have renounced the sankalpa, unless you have renounced the sankalpa for material result and karma, unless you have renounced the sankalpa for both the karma and phala, in the case of sannyasi, or in the case of yogi, unless you have renounced your sankalpa for material result, yogi bhavati kashchana. Without renunciation, yogi bhavati. A yogi cannot be kashchana. Yogi bhavati kashchana. Nahi asanyasta sannyasi. Na bhavati ityartha. A yogi cannot be called a yogi if he has not renounced the sankalpa. What is the sankalpa? That I want some material result. Material result may come, may not come. But the material result I renounce. But the mental result I accept. I ask for God, Bhagavan, to give me, let me find myself with a cheerful mind, with a clean mind, with an objective mind, with a mind that is able to understand the truth, that is able to discern between Atma and Anatma. In this manner, he says to Bhagavan, and therefore that is a renunciation of the sankalpa for the material result. Nahi asanyasta sankalpaha. A person who, unless a yogi has renounced the sankalpa, na yogi bhavati kashchana. He cannot be called a yogi. Yogi bhavati kashchana. Nobody can be called a yogi unless he has renounced the sankalpa, please. And therefore, in India, I'm sorry. I am very, very sorry, please. Sankalpa has to be. In India, most of the people are karma yogis. Why? Because they do their duties and pray to God. And then that prayer to God is, hey Bhagavan, give me mental purity, mental peace, and mental preparedness for knowing the truth. And therefore, everybody is a karma yogi. Ji. Everybody does his duty, pray with devotion. And if a person does his duties not with devotion, then he is not called a karma yogi. If a person does his duty without after renunciation of the karma phala, material result, and if a person says, hey, with devotion, hey Bhagavan, give me mental result, give me mental peace and mental preparedness to know the truth, then he is a karma yogi, please. And a karma yogi can also call sannyasi. There is no difference between a karma yogi and a sannyasi. Both of them are the same. And therefore, yam sanyasamiti praho yogam tam vidhi pandava. A karma yogi need not have any complex. A karma yogi also has sannyasa. He has nahi asanyasta sankalpaha. He has renounced the sankalpa for the material result. A sannyasi renounces the sankalpa for both the karma and the phalam, whereas a yogi renounces the karma phala, renounces the sankalpa for the karma phala. He does the karma, but he renounces the sankalpa for material result. In that way, both of them are renunciates, and therefore the one who is what is called sannyasa is also called yoga. And unless a yogi renounces the sankalpa for material result, he cannot be called a karma yogi. He will be called only a karmi, not karma yogi. Karmi is different from karma yogi. Karmi means a person performs action, and he has got all kinds of vanities, etc. He has got ego, etc. Whereas karma yogi, he is humble. He follows. He doesn't compare himself with others. Also, he renounces the sankalpa for the karma phalam, and he only prays to God. I want your grace that I let my mind be peaceful in this manner, and therefore be pure and peaceful. Give me the strength to control the impulses. In this manner, he prays that prayerfully doing duties makes him a karma yogi, and and a person renounces both the karma and the phalam, and he is called a sannyasi. That way, both of them are renunciates. In both the cases, there is renunciation. In sannyasa, there is renunciation of both karma and phalam, and in the case of yoga, there is doing karma, but renounces the karma phalam, and the karma phala will take care of itself. How do I survive, Swamiji? Karma phala will come. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. That is, karma phala will come to survive you, to help you. Or you can always I want to become rich. That is a desire. That is a desire. That means you have not renounced Sankara. You are not a student of the truth. I want to become rich. I want to collect this money, that money. That makes you that is a desire, and that makes you a non-sannyasi and non-yogi. Please, you are not even a student of Vedanta. You are not even a student of the truth. As a student of the truth, he always prays for mental peace and mental purity and mental preparedness to understand the truth. Understand truth. Discerning becomes the main duty, main program of a sannyasi or a yogi, of a sannyasi or a yogi, and therefore there is no question of uh, becoming rich or anything if he is a student of the truth, and therefore he just I want to survive and know the truth. That is because a rich person also cannot carry his riches, and a poor man also doesn't carry his poverty. Everybody becomes nirvisesham. After death, you become nirvisesham, please. The body becomes collapsed. The body is gone. The body is burned to ashes. The senses are gone. The thoughts become unmanifest. The time the universe becomes unmanifest and a person becomes nirvisesham. The jivatvam is gone. It's not corrected, but it becomes unmanifest. The jivatvam is gone, and therefore he becomes nirvisesham. And therefore, a poor man doesn't remain a poor man. Like in Sushupti, a poor man doesn't sleep as a poor man. And andho anando bhavati. Andha, if a person is blind and in the deep sleep state, he is not blind. He experiences that state, that he knows that experience. After waking up, you ask him, "Did you have good sleep?" "Yes, I had good sleep. I had a peaceful sleep." And therefore, is it your experience or is it your belief? Says it is my experience. And therefore, andho anando bhavati. And atra pita apita bhavati. And the father doesn't become a father. Father, when he goes to sleep, he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember the thought. He doesn't have the thought that I am a father. He doesn't miss the children. He doesn't even think of the children. The children who are sleeping next to him, he doesn't miss them. He doesn't think of them. Raja na Raja bhavati. A Raja also, when he goes to sleep, this Rajatvam is not there. He doesn't feel that he is a Raja. And in the same manner, in the death also, everybody becomes a nirvisesham. Just as in the deep sleep state, you become nirvisesham. And in the death also, you are to begin with, it is nirvisesham. And therefore, and then afterwards, yatha karma, yatha shrutam. And then afterwards, as the karma takes care of, takes its own course. And then you are born again. And therefore, when you are born, when you take the form, then you become Savisesha. Till then, you are Nirvisesham only. And therefore, until whether you take a form, whether it is Anath or in heaven. When you take the form, then you become Savisesha. Until you take the form, then you become you remain the Nirvisesham, and therefore the rich man also doesn't carry any riches. The poor man doesn't carry his poverty. The king doesn't carry his kingship. The father doesn't carry his any relationship, and therefore everybody becomes Nirvisesham. And therefore, in the case of the student of the truth, his love is only to survive and to know the truth. He is not interested in being rich or in becoming rich, please. He is not interested in collection. He is not interested. And that alone works in this world. And and what is that? That you be a student of the truth and be a student of your existence. Be a student of, because there is a very blatant contrast between one's existence and the form. The form doesn't know me. I know the form. The form doesn't see me. The form is inert. Not only this form, this body, the form, but any form in this creation is inert. And I see the forms, but the forms don't see me. I see the sun. I can salute the sun. The sun cannot salute me. I can see the creation, the universe, the form, but the form, the universe cannot see me. I see the space. Space cannot see me. I see the air. The air cannot see me. I see the fire. Fire cannot see me. I can be aware of. I can be aware of the water. The water cannot be aware of me. I can be aware of the earth element. The earth element cannot be aware of me. And therefore, all the five elements are inert. And therefore, when the five elements are gone, when the five elements and the body is made of the elementals, and the body is called the elemental, it is made of the five elements, and therefore the five elements are indeed this elemental is destroyed, and then it is cremated, and the ashes are thrown somewhere, and therefore in the river, etc., in Ganga, etc., and therefore there is no question of collecting the things, collecting things and becoming rich and being rich. As a student of truth, he always wants to survive and know the truth, please. He's not interested in, he is not interested in being rich or becoming rich. The next is, and therefore don't have any complex. If you do your duties, even though you are a karma yogi, as a grihastha, you can be a karma yogi, and as a karma yogi, you are a sannyasi also, because unless you have renounced the sankalpa for the result, you cannot be called unless you have renounced the sankalpa for the karma phalam, you cannot be called a yogi. And now that you have renounced, and therefore that makes you a yogi. And a yogi is also a sannyasi. And therefore, whenever you renounce something, then you are a sannyasi. And therefore, sannyasa is not something unfamiliar to you. Everybody knows sannyasa. When you renounce something, when you renounce anything for that matter, especially when you, that is a sannyasi, but when you renounce the sankalpa for the material result, you are definitely a sannyasi, please. When you renounce the sankalpa for the karma and the phalam, you are a paramarthika sannyasi, paramartha sannyasi. And if you renounce, if you do the karma, and if you renounce the sankalpa for the material result, you are a yogi. And you are a yogi and you are a sannyasi, and therefore don't have any complex. Don't have any complex, because what makes you a real sannyasi, a real yogi, is ultimately is not a sankalpa. It is not really. It is discerning. It is discerning between atma and anatma. You can always discern. You can always discern. Staying at home also, you can discern between atma and anatma, between your existence and the body. You can look after the body, and also you can discern between your existence and the body, and that makes you a karma yogi, and that makes you a sannyasi also, please. Even though you may be a grihastha, but you are not a sansari, please. You are a cheerful person. You are a peaceful person. You are a you are not interested in being rich. You are interested only in living and knowing. In order to live, the results will come, but I don't have to think about the results. Then the next verse is third verse, please. The third verse says, Aru rukshoho munerya. Aru rukshuhu. The Arurukshu means Arodum Ichuhu. The one who wants to become prepared mentally is called Arurukshu. Arurukshoho Munehe. And he is also a Muni. He is a reflective person. He is not a reflective person, means he is a discerning person. Reflection is not, all kinds of reflection is not called Vedanta, please. Even a brooding person is a reflecting person. A person who is brooding all the time, he is also brooding about his business. He is thinking about his business. He is worried about his business. He also looks like a reflective person. Even a TB patient, as a quiet person, looks like a reflective person. But a TB patient is not a reflective person. Reflection means only discerning between the blatant contrast. There is a contrast between oneself and the body, and discerning between the body and one's existence makes you a reflective person. Atma anatma vivekaha. Atma anatma vivekaha makes you a reflective person. And when you do the reflection, then alone you are called a munihi, please. Arurukshoho munehe yogam karma karanamuchyate. Yogam karma means karma yoga. Karma yoga is the sadhanam in order to be prepared. In order to be prepared in your mentally. If you are mentally prepared, in order to be mentally prepared, what should you do? Karma yoga. That is, karma yoga means prayerfully doing your duties. Your prayer itself will take care of your mental disturbance, etc. Your mental peace will come to you. Your mental purity will come to you when you pray to God along with your duties. Arurukshoho means the one who wants to be mentally prepared for knowing the truth. He is called Arurukshoho Munehe, and he is not only Arurukshoho, but he is a Munihi. Munihi means he is also a reflective person. He also wants to discern between. He is a reflective person. He is also interested in seeing the difference between existence and the form. Arukshar Muner Yogam, Karma Karana Yogam, Munehe Yogam. The one who wants to be prepared mentally, and the person who is reflective, Yogam Karma Karanam Uchyate. Karma is the sadhanam. Karanam means sadhanam Uchyate. Karma here it should be taken as the sadhanam. Karma Karanam Uchyate. Karma is Yogam Karma. Karma Yoga is the sadhanam. Karma Yoga is the sadhanam for preparing yourself. And if once he is prepared for the Yoga Arudaha, then he becomes Yoga Arudaha. Yoga Arudaha means the one who has been mentally prepared. He is quiet. He is peaceful. For the same person, Yoga Arudasya Tasyeva. For the same person, Shamaha Karanamuchyate. Shamaha means then you renounce your sankalpa for both karma and karma phalam. To begin with, it is Arurukshoho Muner Yogam Karma Karanamuchyate means karma yoga is the sadhanam. And once you have reached the mental preparation, then Shamah Karanamuchyate. Then karma sannyasa is the sadhanam. You renounce both karma and karma phalam both. In the beginning, you renounce only, you do the karma, you renounce the karma phalam. You have renounced the karma phalam. But later on, you renounce both karma and karma phalam. In both the cases, there is some renunciation, there is something similar. And therefore, a karma yogi is called a sannyasi is called karma yogi. There is no difference between the two. There is no difference because in both the cases, there is renunciation. A sannyasi renounces both karma and karma phalam, and a karma yogi renounces karma phalam. He does the karma, but he renounces the karma phalam. And that means renunciation is there in both the cases, and therefore renunciation, keeping in view that common factor called renunciation, we can say that a sannyasi is a karma yogi, and a karma yogi is also a sannyasi. And therefore, there is no difference. And every grihastha is a karma yogi, should be a karma yogi, please. Every person who is in this world has to be either a karma yogi or a karma sannyasi. Karma yogi means you renounce the karma, you renounce the sankalpa for the karma phalam, but you do the karma. That is called karma yoga. Sannyasa means you renounce the sankalpa for both karma and karma phalam. This is exactly what is sannyasa and what is karma yoga. In this manner, every grihastha, every individual is a karma yogi, and he should be a karma yogi. And if he is a karma yogi, he is also a sannyasi. Please don't have any complex. Don't have any. There is no need for any complex. Please, it removes the sankalpa. It removes the complex, because a karma yogi also is a renunciate, and a sannyasi is a renunciate, and a karma yogi also is a renunciate. What does he renounce? He renounces the sankalpa for the karma phalam. That is enough. But then karma phalam means material karma phalam. He may ask for the mental peace and mental purity. That is not a material result, please. That is a mental result. And that also he asks for his grace. Hey Bhagavan, give me a good mind, an understanding mind. Give me the strength to understand the truth. What is wrong in that? When you pray to God and then ask for this, and it's not that there is sankalpa for the mental peace and mental purity, but there is no sankalpa for the material result. He renounces the material sankalpa for the material result. Material result may come, may not come. May come. Otherwise, also it may come, may not come. Please, depending upon the previous karma. The past karma comes and edits the present action. Even if you are not a karma yogi, you remain a karmi. The action that you do may bring you result, may not bring you result. In the same manner, a karma yogi also may perform the karma, may bring the karma phalam, may not bring the karma phalam. But he doesn't think in terms of the karma phalam. He always thinks in terms of mental result. He always thinks in terms of mental peace and the strength to know the truth. And that makes him a karma yogi. And therefore, until you become mentally peaceful, mentally prepared, the karma yoga is the sadhanam. And once you become prepared, then arudasya tasyaiva, shamaha means peace. Peace means the renunciation of the sankalpa for karma is also that makes him say a sannyasi. Then he become a sannyasi. Shamah karanam uchyate. Shamaha is the sadhanam for the one who is prepared. And the more of it we will see in the next class. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ठीक है जी.